Hey everybody, this is Jackie from Jack Gets Lost Down the Book Hole. I just filmed my SuperCon video talking about SuperCon and when I got there and who I met and everything. So if you guys are interested in that, I just posted that video today. So I decided to also film another video of my book haul. Again, of the latest books because I bought a lot of books because my friend Terry, who was visiting, who went when he was SuperCon, she is also a reader. She loves books as much as I do. I mean, she's a little more particular with her books than I am. I mean, I have my limits and I have my lines I won't cross as far as what I will read. Like I won't read erotica. I tried it once with Anne Rice's, although the books go by a different name. She goes under a different alias. Her Sleeping Beauty trilogy, where basically Beauty, the prince that rescues Beauty, is actually he has sex slaves essentially. And Beauty was one of the sex slaves him and his mother bought. And so I didn't like it. I was not comfortable with it. I did try to finish the series. Like I got into the second book, but then halfway through I gave up. I mean, I wanted to finish it out because I wanted to see Beauty escape, and maybe there was that one prince in the book, one of the other slaves that she started to have an intimate relationship with, and I wanted to see them run away together and live happily ever after, but I just couldn't get through it. I will never read books like 50 Shades of Grey. I will never read that. But I have no problem with sex in books, and if they're detailed and graphic, I'm okay with it. I just don't want to read a book that's all about the sex and kinkiness and the whole plot of the book is these people having, and their sexual relationship. And plus I've heard a lot of bad things about 50 Shades of Grey. Like the writing is bad, even for a BDSM book. It's bad. And I'm not as into war books, but I will read fantasy war books. And historical war books I might read those. Like I read Red Badge of Courage. That was okay, but I'm not a huge fan of it. And I won't, ironically, my friend loves romance. Terry loves romance. And me, I'm more like, I want to have the romance in my plots, but not the main plot. But because I'm writing for a magazine, I'm writing reviews for a magazine. I'm trying to add more books, more variety in what I read. It's very hard though because if you're not into it, you don't want to force yourself to do it. But if you're, of course, writing for a newspaper or a magazine or or whatever, if you're doing reviews, then you want to have a little bit of variety because everybody has different taste. So I'm trying to read some romance novels, and some of them they're cute, and they're fun. I just would rather watch it on TV than have it dominate the book I'm reading. So anyway, but let me show you what books I got this past month. I got a lot of books this month because every bookstore, like I took her to the used bookshop in town and I bought a book there, and they have really good prices. Like the most expensive book is $5. So I got that. Are you okay? Do you need to sit down? Sorry, my dog, he just came in from being outside and he's really hot. He's really sweaty right now. I don't know what he wants. I mean, I think he wants to get in the chair with me. But he's just gonna have to, he can still lie down on the ground if he wants. Anyway, okay, well, he did get in the chair, and you kind of sort of see him. He said, he was sitting behind me in the other video I just filmed, and published. So, anyway, before this video gets too long, let me go ahead and share. I'm gonna share this first book I'm gonna share. I don't know if we already had it or my mom bought it while I was away at SuperCon in Raleigh, while I was in Raleigh. But I have been wanting to read George Orwell's 1984. I just had the urge to read it. And so I thought we had a copy of it or my sister had a copy of it. Unfortunately, I just recently borrowed 2 books from her that I still have not got around to reading. So I couldn't really, even if I had found the copy in her personal, their library, I still probably shouldn't have asked for it. I mean, I didn't ask for it. So I probably, I probably wouldn't ask for it to borrow it because I'm already borrowing 2 of her books. But we have a few books in common. Like, I mean, just like I have a few movies in common with my dad, with my sister, I have a few books, and my mom. I have a few books in common that all 3 of us will read. And that means a lot of the classics, and like I think I could see her wanting to read historical fiction, but mostly it's only a handful of books. And she had this one, I thought she did, but I didn't see it there. So I don't know if it must have been one that was left, or maybe I saw it on our old bookshelf in our old house. Maybe that's why I thought. But this is like one of the original dystopians. One of the first. Before it became like, YA reads. Like, all young people read dystopians that were... So there were them long before. There was 1984. There was, The Giver. Fahrenheit 451. A Brave New World. Those are all dystopians, and those were written years ago, a long time ago, before, like, Hunger Games and Insurgent, and not Insurgent, that's not what the actual series is called. I can't remember what the series is actually, the trilogy is actually called. But, so before those, there were books like this. So I think we must have had this in our library or something. But I've been wanting to read it. And I like what's good about it is the print is a little bit bigger. So it's easier to read. So I might be able to read it easily. Okay, so let me just go ahead and show these books. These are books I got. I already talked about these books a little bit, and I mentioned these books at the SuperCon video. So this is basically, these are all dragon books, essentially, dragon fantasy, because I'm trying to read different types of fantasy, and I've only read one dragon series, and I'm rereading it because I read it so long ago, and I technically I haven't read the last book, so I decided to reread it from the beginning, and that's the Inheritance Cycle by Christopher Paolini. So that's the only dragon-related series I have. I mean, there's dragons, of course, in Song of Ice and Fire series, but it's not, they don't come until later, or because like in the first book, I think they're eggs, and then they get born at the end of the book. I think it's been a while since I read A Game of Thrones, the first book. So this is a 4 series. I'll just read the back. Here's a quote from another author. Not just another dragon story. This memorable escapade is fast-paced, packed with action, and it will leave readers on the edge of their seats. DJ McHale, New York Times best-selling author of SYLO Chronicles and Pendragon. I don't know, but I've never read any of those. I mean, I've seen the Pendragon books. Like, there's the Pendragon book at my little used bookshop. Let's see. Can one boy stand between 2 kingdoms at war? Javid, I don't know how to say it. Javid Broadfeather has grown up as a wartime refugee, hiding from the world because of his mixed racial heritage. He feels his future is hopeless, until a chance encounter with a wild dragon lands him in the Belibrig Academy, a place usually forbidden to anyone but the rich and royal. So that's the first book. So the second book, let's see what it says. What kind of power is lurking inside? A year after year of training to become a dragon rider, Javid Broadfeather has been sent home to rest during a 3-month interlude. But when he returns to find the king has chosen Becca Derrick as his new rider, I don't know if I said that right. Javid realizes something big is about to happen. Every fiber of his being is pushed to the breaking point as Javid battles through his avion year, preparing for the final graduation test of the battle scenario. But there is more standing in his way than a few push-ups and a fancy sword moves. The second one, Avian. Let's see. Traitor. This is the third book. Traitor. Javid Broadfeather is prepared for the front lines of battle, facing the horrors of war with Luthradar looming on the horizon. Between Javid has has begun to question about his heritage. The only thing keeping him going is an oath to protect his dragon rider brothers. But in an instant, Javin steps from the safety of his dragon cell into the depths of his mother's wild homeland, the kingdom of the Grey Elves. Stranded in Lantharda with Lieutenant Jace Rorden, Javin must finally confront the demons of his past, as he uncovers the truth about a war that began before he was born. Armed with a new appreciation for destiny and flanked by trusted friends, Javin moves to make the battle strike against an enemy that has been hiding in plain sight for far too long. One kingdom's traitor will become the world's last hope. Okay. So this is the last book. Immortal. When destiny has called. With Javin, Broadfeather forever lost to the depths of the Luthanardo, Felix Pharaoh struggles to stand on his own. He begins a violent downward spiral, which causes him to abandon his post as a dragon rider, hiding in the halls of his family's estate. His only hope for redemption lies within the heart of someone from his past, and the very last person he will want to see again. And now, the time has finally come. Hovred, who has ruled Maldobar as a tyrannical impostor, is preparing to make a decisive assault against Luthanardo that will destroy what remains of the elven race. Only Javin, Felix, and their trusted friends are able to stand in his way. They have only one chance to end the war, and only one hope to absolve the curse that threatens to destroy the world. The stage is set. The plan is in motion. What began as one boy's adventure will now end in blood. Dun dun dun. So I don't know. I mean, I haven't read, so that's why I read the summaries and trying to be interesting instead of me just reading them. So I got a pretty good deal with those books. They were $30 to get all 4 of those. Because normally, it's, first of all, most YA authors, their next books don't come out for a year, and, you can't, and when you do buy a series, you kind of I have to buy it one by one, because books, they're not cheap, like at regular bookstores. And this set would be, probably 40 or 50 altogether. So, and I got it for 30, so that's nice. Okay, and this book is another dragon book. So this is the first one, and I believe she said that the next one will come out on the 30th. I will probably check out the website. In the Shadow of the Dragon King. Okay, so I'm going to read the back of this one. 17-year-old Eric is a kick-butt squire to the most revered knight of Valhalla. Oh, I can never say that. Valhalla. Well, he would be if Sir Troggs still allowed him to do anything even remotely awesome. Determined to prove his worth, Eric sets out to find the mythical paladin summoned to protect the realm from the evil lurking nearby. 16-year-old David spends his days collecting school honors, winning archery tournaments, and trying not to fall in love with his scrappy best friend Charlotte. Right when things start to get interesting, he is whisked away to the magical realm of Valhalla, where everyone thinks he's some sort of paladin destined to fulfill a 200-year-old prophecy. He's supposed to help kill a dragon with some sort of magic key. The same key that happens to adorn the neck of an annoying squire who's too wrapped up in himself. Oh, sorry, that's gross. I just got my own spit on it, on the back. Who's up and proving himself to be much help to anyone. With egos as big as the dragon, they need to destroy Eric, and David must get over themselves or watch everything they know and love burn. I like how it's basically points out that these guys have huge egos and they need to get over themselves. So it's not, okay, so a nice thing about killing a dragon, but it's still a dragon and it's still good fantasy. And I kind of know, books about boys, where it's from a boy's perspective, is sometimes a little more interesting than the girls. Because girls, we are kind of whiny in these stories. I mean, I can understand why they might be a little whiny, and sometimes they're entitled to be a little whiny because they're freaking out, and, they're young and hormonal and all that. But I get it, I get why people don't like Dawn on Buffy the Vampire Slayer series, I get why they can't stand her, but of course I have a soft spot for that particular character because, like me, she's a little sister. So, okay, so there's that. Those are the books. And then, okay, so I have not read Voyager, but this is the next book in the Outlander series that I'm going to read. I still like it. I know that people say it has problems, and I'm sure it does. But, I mean, this is historical fiction. That's the risk of writing historical fiction, is that, you want to be historically accurate, and there's some things historically in these books that people won't like. So it's like, do you decide that, okay, they don't have to have that in there, and it will still be good, or do they want to make it that authentic? You have to decide which route you're going to take. So this is the third one, Drums of Autumn. So I haven't read Voyager, but I like to kind of try to get the next book after the book after the next book, so that I won't fall too far behind, because you never know when I'm going to go. And like I said, I'm kind of on a book hiatus. According to my mom, like I said, my mom told me that after buying like 5 books at SuperCon, I'm going to be, like, for 2 months, I can't buy any more books. The good news is that if I am able to go, if they let me go to Y'all Fest in November, like, I'll be off of my hiatus. Like, I'll be able to buy more books again. So I'm going to try to stick with it. I mean, I think I can, because, like, the used bookstore in town does not have the best selection. It's hard to buy books from there because, I mean, not hard to buy the books, but just, they don't have books like, I mean, although they did have the 4th book and the 5th book in the series, or Outlander, but it's probably already bought. Someone probably already bought it. So, and, like, Books A Million is not walkable. I can't drive, and, so the library is my only option, and I'm not going to get a book this length at the library. And I'm not actually buying, I'm buying those books, I'm borrowing the books from the library that I'm not sure 100% if I want to buy them, or, like, I've heard about them, and I'm kind of interested. I really wish Fangirls. I know Carry On is there, but I want to read Fangirl. Fortunately, it's not there. Okay, then, let's see. So, my friend also has a May birthday, so when Terry came up to visit, we decided to buy each other books, and because we both love reading. It was our birthday gifts to each other. So, one of the books she got me was this one. I finally have Lies of Locke and Lamora. Which, speaking of that, I'm really hoping my mom already pre-ordered Vicious before I left, because now, like I said, she wants me to, go on a book buying hiatus. So I'm hoping she already bought Vicious for me, and I'm just, although technically she's the one buying it, so I'm not buying it. But, so I've been wanting to read, but this is one of the books I've been wanting to read, because Sam from Thoughts on Tomes has constantly talked about this series, so I've been wanting to read it. So she bought me the first one, and I bought myself this one, although I don't think this is the right order. I don't think this is the second one. I think the second one is Red Seas Under Red Skies. I think I should have bought this one, but, although this could potentially mean, I don't know if this is one of those series where you have to read them in order or not. But I bought this one for myself. And she got me this one, so I got these two. Okay, so let me put those there. And then I got 2 more books. So this one was another one I had been hearing about. This one I got at the country bookstore in the next little town over Southern Pines. It has, it's a little cute little country bookstore, small, not as big as the bookshop in town, but the selection is a little bit better, and it's a cute little bookstore. So I had constantly heard about this, and I said it was a little like, especially this first one, a little like Throne of Glass. So I've been wanting to read this. And again, great print. I love the print. I like it when it's sometimes the problem with books that are like this one. Sometimes it's hard because they're so long and the print is so small and it takes a long time to read them. So I like when the print's a little bit bigger. So that one I'm not gonna talk because I constantly hear about it on BookTube. I didn't get the second one. I think it was the only one left of the original of the first book. I didn't get the second book because I'm gonna wait until I read the first book, or at least for a while. Okay, now this one is what I bought at the used bookstore, and I got it for actually originally it's $2, but they were having a half price deal, so I got this for only $1 and some change. So that was an awesome deal. This is the first book in a trilogy. Actually, it might be a quartet because I think it has a fourth book in the series. I remember my friend telling me about this and trying to get me to read it. Or she wasn't trying, but she would recommend it. This is another dystopian. So I got 2 dystopians with me. So this one, I was kind of iffy about this one because it's like saying if you're considered normal looking and ugly, then you're not. If you're considered normal looking, you're ugly, and then it's basically about these people becoming pretty to be popular, and this girl basically chooses to be one of the pretties by going through this plastic surgery type situation. So I was a little reluctant because I was like, are you telling, is this trilogy is the series saying that, but you know what, I figured with that all aside, I'm gonna still, read it. So it's kind of like Hunger Games it's nothing really like Hunger Games. It's really the only thing it has in common with Hunger Games is it's dystopian. But I do believe that Scott Westerfield might be at, I think I saw his name on the list of authors that are going to be at Y'all Fest. But I'm basically trying to read the books of the authors that are going to be at Y'all Fest. Like, Evgenia Schwab is going to be there, Cassandra Clare is going to be there, which I'm totally behind on her Shadowhunter Chronicles. Because I still gotta read, I gotta finish reading I gotta read more of the Baden Chronicles, and I gotta buy Tales from Shadowhunter Academy, and then the other, and then her new series, The Dark Artifices. Some of those, I might ask for those for Christmas. Because, I am just happy with my books. You can get me a book, or at least give me a gift card, and I'll be happy. But I also kind of want the physical copy be able to unwrap a physical copy of a book. And I think this cover is so interesting, it's like, basically it's, this, oh, there's a face, I didn't realize it. I love the covers. It's very interesting how, like in this one, it's, the girl is under the sheet. The girl who's getting worked on is under a sheet, and you can kind of see the face in there. I don't think you can tell as much in the camera. And you can see her fingernails, and I just think these covers are really cool. These are the covers I want. So anyway, that's it. That's all the books I got this month. And like I said, my mom's all like, you're gonna be on the hiatus for the next 2 months from book buying. So I have a lot of books I need to read. Not just those, but books that I've had on my shelf for a while. I still have not gone to the Lord of the Rings books. I've only read The Hobbit, but that one's kind of hard. But I guess you could argue that if I can read a Song of Ice and Fire series, but then again, Song of Ice and Fire, George R. R. Martin's right is more blunt, I feel like, while Tolkien is more poetic and flowery. Nothing wrong with that. It's sometimes, in some cases, that those books are a little hard to get into. So anyway, that is my book haul for this month. And I hope you enjoyed. And let me know in the comments if you've read any of these books, if you've heard, and I'll let you know how this series goes. If you haven't read it, because I think it's one of those independent. So if you're interested, look up the Dragon Rider Chronicles. See if they have them there. And like I will let you know. Maybe I'll do a review. Problem is I'm really bad at reviews. So, but I know that's bad for me to say because I mentioned I'm a reviewer for a local magazine, but I meant like when I'm doing video reviews, I need to learn how to take notes. It's just hard because when you're reading it, you just want to enjoy it, and it's just hard to, you don't want to stop and take the time to write a note. So, but I will try to let you guys know how that series goes if you are interested. Okay, that's it for now. Bye.